actually, kind of marching along, or like at least the hand is on the trumpet,
Okay.
something like that. Okay.
Okay.
But I think actually also like the other ways you just want to keep the profile
Mm.
working with the shape of the mouth and negative space with the shape of the
Mm.
trumpet
Mm.
will work better. It seems a little bit too blank where the person's eye should be. So
Okay.
you may want to work on composition a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you have to draw the features, but
Yeah. Yeah.
just try and work with it a little bit more. Also, the wallpaper.
Mm.
I get you want to show symbolism. I think it would be more effective if you were actually kind of like bursting out from the trumpet, okay,
Okay.
instead of on the wall. So
Yeah.
try and work that a little bit too.
Okay.
And I think it should be good. Also, when you're drawing the dollar sign, remember that we're kind of working with shapes too. So try and draw that as a shape so
Yeah.
that it works better with the rest of the. Okay.
Yeah.
And you may want to think of other things, to put with these three like symbols that you have.
All.
So achievements, etc. But you want to also like think of other uh, things that also represent that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have
Okay.
any value studies, etc.?
No,
Even if it's based on this?
no, I just started with that.
Okay, okay. Okay, who's next?
Ma'am, it's Manushi here. Can I share my screen?
Sure, go ahead.
Ma'am, so these were the few more explorations I made. So in the first one, I tried showing a crow in the ocean.
Okay,
And in the second and third one, it's like I want to show the chaos in a person's mind.
okay. So what's
And
happening in the brain?
sorry, ma'am.
What's happening in the brain? Like what's
Uh,
happening?
I, I wanted to show lot many people.
Okay,
And in the third one, just a simple portrait where the lips and the jewelry is highlighted. So
okay,
everything else would be very dull and simple, but I'll try highlighting the jewelry and lips.
okay. Um, so in the first one, is the crow actually in the bottom of the ocean?
Yes, ma'am. Like
Okay.
it was unrealistic, but then I thought of because like in into the waters there is all silence. So and crow is completely opposite of that.
Okay. Um, so when you put the crow there, in the water, it kind of reads differently to me, as in, pretty literally, like, the crow may be drowning or something like that, um,
Yes.
rather than the aspect of loud. Um, what you may want to do is maybe try and change the angle if that's the way you want to show it. It's still a bit more narrative, right? But I mean, I'm just trying to think, how what other compositions would work. I guess the crow just is kind of sticking its head in and kind of clawing in there. But we would need to also show the contrast between, like, the silent fishes and the wailing duck crow. But it may also kind of turn out that, because read as the crow is in the water to try and eat the fishes, right? So if that's the one you want to go with, you may want to rethink it a bit. Okay. I think for now the second one works best. Okay. Um, so with that, be more expressive about the way you show these people. Okay, don't make them just like still if you just kind of like a crowd of people. Show them to be interacting in the sense that what is it about those people in the person's head that is disturbing him or her, right? So is it that they're quarreling? Is it that they're ignoring each other? So what is it that makes those thoughts like really, really loud and take up space in the head? You may also want to work the shape of the head in such a way that it seems that they're kind of squished together and trying to escape, okay, or trying to burst out. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Um, I'm not sure if the last one would work in terms of loud. I understand what you're trying to do, but it's also that like especially what you've drawn right now, the really like defined eyebrows, the big earrings like that. When you kind of put it into the context of today, that's not really that loud. Okay, that's like very normal streetwear at the moment, so it doesn't read like that. Also, when you start drawing just like a woman's figure with all of these like beauty or accessory things more magnified, it starts looking as a fashion illustration. Okay? So you may want to like kind of stick with the second one because I think that has the most potential.
Ma'am, I have made a line cup for the third one. Like I have showed the whole bottle and a girl
You didn't
in the.
talk about the third one. What's happening there?
Ma'am, it's the same. Like I showed a girl in a bottle, and the same concept was the same, that in her mind or there is all chaos and due to all the people.
Okay.
So like I showed showing the portraits of the people outside the bottle and then connecting to the girl inside the bottle.
Okay. So putting the person in the bottle actually is more like quiet rather than loud, okay, in a way. So even at this point, I feel the way you've drawn the second work works much more better. Okay. Can you show me the line comp?
Can, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So this is how.
Um, yeah, I don't think this is actually reading as loud at all. It's for me, it's not even reading as like like all of these people and like thoughts about these people or these people inside a person's head. Okay, this seems more like a take on quiet or like when you keep silent when you have bottled up feelings. Um, so one way you can kind of take this forward if you still want to keep working in this direction is so when you draw the bottle, reminds me, start thinking of other utensils. Okay, so we have those like water pots and things made of steel. So when you kind of bang on them and they're empty, it starts making really loud noise. So one way I kind of imagine this is that the head, the pot, is the metal pot is the person's head, and there are all of these people bursting out of it instead of banging against it. So they are the ones creating that loud noise in the person's head. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so that is one way to think about it. So uh, just try and think of other ways. That's where the word association comes in. So for everyone else too, if a concept doesn't work, you can try, go back to your ideation, or like try and put in the ideation process to work again. Like I just did when I think, saw the bottle, I'm like, how do I make this work? Okay, so that's another way to kind of develop the idea. Okay? Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. Now you guys don't have to. So I may be spoon feeding you a little bit more than I want to. You guys don't have to follow what I say. Okay, they're suggestions, but I'd rather you kind of come up with your own idea and make that work as well.
And here I thought that in a way that if things get bottled up in our head, then it becomes very chaotic.
No, I understand that, but what's happening is it's not reading individually. So one thing all of you can do is when you draw something like this, okay, you can kind of ask around. You can ask your family, friends, without telling them what it is, to kind of tell you what they think it means, right? So that's when you start getting answers back at what it actually reads to a person who doesn't know what you're working.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
Who's next?
May I go next?
Okay. Yeah, go on.
So, the first one over here, I was thinking about the art piece that this is not a pipe.
Hmm?
It's a musical instrument at the home. So that is that. And this one is how kids make clouds. So and sometimes like cloud makes noise. So which is this one is that. And this one is like about engine and like how mechanical engine make noise. So when the bolt, sorry, a bolt is out, so so these are birds and one bird is flying, so it makes noise. And this is like two buildings screaming at each other.
Okay. Um, so with the pipe one, that's like kind of a literal, I guess, representation of the actual, you know, um,
Yes.
painting or illustration itself. So unless you have something clever to add to it, I would not take it further. Okay. Uh, I'm not sure the cloud thing is something I understand as such. Okay. Because I know you've drawn them out there to kind of signify loud, but again, very literal, input there. With the engine, again, I think it's rather literal that, yeah, mechanical engines are noisy, anything with a motor is noisy. So, unless you kind of take the idea about the bird, I'm not sure exactly what, like, but like, take it further with the engine. I don't think that works as well for what we are trying to do right now. Yeah. I like the idea of the screaming buildings, that does read really nicely. Um, you may want to add more details as to why they're screaming. Okay, so see, this is a point where, see, if you had drawn like a noisy street, okay, uh, the first thing is that it does read as noisy. Okay, but then when you add this other thing there, it kind of, okay, you know that the buildings are screaming. So now what you want to do is you want to add the reason why these buildings are screaming. Okay, that can be more of a little narrative. Okay, that you can, you know, kind of like, I mean, it can be anything that you see through the windows there. Okay, you might want to play with the space in the middle too. And it could be like, oh, you know, somebody is quarreling inside, or it can be that people are damaging the walls inside, you know, anything like that. It can be just one topic that you do, and that can kind of add like a second weight to it.
Yes,
Because
I was
as
thinking
a
of making it more interactive. So, like in the windows, people will be there, and somebody will be fighting, or in this house, like they are drilling a hole to put on a painting or something. So it will be interactive in that way.
okay, yeah, just make sure that you know, you don't leave the middle, you know, very very blank. Okay, you can add like a couple of little things like telephone wires going, you know, crisscross in the
Yes, yes,
screen, something like
yes.
that. So it works better that way.
Okay.
Right. Another thing is, you know, try and not make them, you know, so symmetrical. Okay.
Okay.
Um, you want them to look symmetrical, but they don't have to be exactly. So, can you stop sharing your screen? I'll show you an example of what I mean.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you see this? Okay, this building, you know, it looks symmetrical, right?
Yes.
But when you kind of zoom in, especially like look at the roof, okay,
Mm.
you sort of noticing the differences. Okay, so these towers here, not the same here. Okay, you kind of have a basic overall structure and proportions that are similar, but all the details are pretty different. Like there's one thing here, there are like two things here. You know, even in this section here, this is smaller, this is a little bit bigger, you know, there are three spires here, only two here. These towers are different, like, you know, look at the size of the windows, etc. So, and you know, even here, see, there's this, like this triangular window tower, and there's, you know, this window is facing this way, this one is facing front, the tower is shorter here. So but see, overall, it looks pretty symmetrical, right? So when you do that, this is Chateau Chambord in France. So if you want to Google that and kind of use that, you know, to study it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. It does. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Who's next?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm sharing. Just a minute.
Okay.
Screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday I showed you the door, and I tried to make some changes like adding these walls and I wanted to show this some old door and to show it secretive. I'll make these eyes glow and everything would be dark. So uh, these eyes would highlight.
Okay.
So
So, Kriti, again, this seems a little bit too narrative right now, okay? Still, because you're just telling the story, right? Um, so you want to kind of, okay, so you know what I'm seeing right now? When you kind of drawn it this way, uh, that the form of the window and the bricks and stuff, they kind of are starting to form like a human figure sort of thing. So if let's say, you know, you kind of converted that into a figure, it's looking like a medieval knight to me. Okay. So
okay.
if I just for a minute imagine that it is a medieval knight, you know, that the windows, etc., kind of forming that, when you put in those two little eyes there, uh, so first of all, the eyes are very small, okay? It's more likely that people will miss them completely, even if you work on the valleys, okay? Um,
Yeah.
Miss them completely as eyes, you know, they may look like fireflies too. So what you want to do is kind of work on that. So coming back to the medieval knight thing, um, if that was the form you kind of showed, you know, through the planks and the curvature of the window top, the brickwork, could be the shoulder, neck, etc. Um, when you put, you know, like a narrative element inside the windows, okay, that kind of, if the night form will be a second lead, that kind of starts me thinking, oh, you know, is this like something like, oh, is there, I don't know, the night's ghost inside? You know, what are those glowing eyes? Is it like, you know, his spirit lingering behind? Or if you put, let's say, an element of the cross, I'm thinking this is an icon from the Crusades. So an element, you know, in the cross or like a gravestone or something like that. And like, you know, is he dead and buried inside? So that adds the element of mystery and, you know, that secret, right?
Yeah.
So think of it that way. You can also like convert it very easily to something else, like, you know, a form of a woman or something like that. Um, Even the way, so what's happening with the bricks down there?
Here,
Yeah.
this is the this is continuing. Actually, I just highlighted these, but this will continue down.
Okay. Are these like steps coming down through the window?
These are the steps,
Okay.
and this is the wall, like continuing.
So what's happening now? I mean, I know this is like a little bit rough right now, so I'm not sure because it's also incomplete. But um, the steps sort of seem to be going under the facade wall, okay, and it's creating this illusion of like the bricks going in three different dimensions, okay. So when I saw this, that also kind of piqued my curiosity as to what it is. Um, I think so. Right now, I think that is also, you know, more interesting than what is happening in through the window. Okay, so it kind of starts me also thinking like, you know, are the bricks shifting? Okay, am I going to be, you know, start seeing a form, you know, a different form in the shift of the bricks? Mhm. Is it like, you know, a portal that leads to something else too? You know, just through the form of the bricks, you have a great opportunity here to kind of use the elements you have to tell, you know, to give like a hint to, you know, the actual secret. Okay, so maybe try
Okay.
and use that more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try. Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
so all of you, you know, uh, And I ask to keep exploring. Don't worry if you don't meet it eventually, but do put in that effort to try. Okay. You need to get somewhere which is conceptual and makes sense for your um, for your given prompt. Okay, it doesn't have to read 100%. This is maybe just the first conceptual thing you're doing. I'm not sure, but it's not an easy thing to do, which is why I wanted you to tackle it first. Okay, so try and push yourself as much as possible. Get out of your comfort zone. Okay, and I promise you, it's going to be worth it at the end. Okay, who's next?
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah. So,
Ma'am, I'll just share in a while. I think there's some issue.
okay. Um, okay, who's next? Come on, people, next. Let's see. Anirudh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you share what you have with the class?
Sure, ma'am. I've made a few and I've tried to refine two of those, but I think that I still haven't reached the conceptual stage. They're like a bit too literal.
Okay, we can still take a look at them. Maybe we get
Okay,
some
ma'am.
ideas. Do you want to show
Alright,
them?
ma'am. I'll just upload them. Give me 2 minutes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, somebody else can take a turn till then.
Ma'am, can I show?
Sure, go ahead. Okay, so after Mansi, we'll have Kanishka or Anirudh, whoever gets there first, and we need someone else after that, okay? You have to be ready to show up. Everybody's going to get a turn.
So, ma'am, first was the ideation. So, in the ideation, I wrote why people are quiet and the places which are quiet.
Okay,
And so, after that, I made 8 explorations.
okay. Let's talk about the ones that you want to move forward, okay? I need all of you to, if you're not at the line form stage or whatever, just pick one that you want to move forward with, and we'll work with that. Go ahead, Mansi.
Ma'am, I think this one and this one are the two because it is like वो बाहर से काफी शांत है but inside it's मतलब like इतने thoughts है that he is not able to, you know, he is overthinking, but बाहर से he is very quiet.
Okay.
And
What was the other one?
ma'am, this one is the hug. Actually, when you hug a person, it's like very quiet. It's so the silence is like you are in space. So I made it's like they are wearing the astronaut thing, and they are in space because you know there is so much of silence. It's so
Okay.
quiet.
Um, I do feel of the two, the one with the two people hugging in space is more effective and more interesting. Okay. Um,
Okay.
Obviously, chaotic thoughts are, something that kind of come to your mind first. Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
I guess a lot of, you are exploring that idea about, being loud in your head or being quiet and things like that with the human head. So I really like the space idea much more. Okay. I do think you would kind of need, it would be nicer to kind of show them hugging more, like, kind of like their whole figures, first of all,
Yes, ma'am.
wrapped together, in a hug. I don't think you need the space helmet as such. And the other thing you may want to like work with is the scale. Okay. So the idea would be to actually show maybe the vastness of space. So
Okay.
the figures can be, a bit smaller. They can be either in the foreground too. So if you just show this much, you can put them in the foreground and show more space in the background. Okay. So that
Okay.
also kind of brings in that idea of like the vastness and silence there.
Okay.
Okay.
And ma'am, I made this one also. It was like a beach, and you are just lying on the beach, and the beach waves are coming onto you.
Okay.
And
Um,
this one is like it's actually horizontal because I
okay.
was
It's a
trying to say
reflection.
it's actually someone is asking you to be quiet, and you are scared of him.
Okay. So again, the beach one, it seems very literal, and the I one again, it's a narrative mostly,
Yes,
because the person is actually, making the sign of being quiet. And when you work with like expressions, and especially, things like fear, um,
yes, ma'am.
the eye would kind of pop open, the eyebrows also kind of change. So whenever you work with expressions, pay close attention to the eyebrow expression. Okay.
Okay,
I still think the space one is much more stronger.
okay,
um, yeah, so it would be a good idea to move ahead with that.
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Kanishka.
Yeah, I'll just try sharing again. So this was the ideation that I tried doing first. I've linked secret with identity and activities, kind of, and I've tried working with that. So these were the explorations, and there's more, but I wanted to go ahead with the idea of camouflaging, and because maintaining a secrecy is like kind of a mission. So I have taken ahead this concept into the line compositions and I've tried doing that.
Okay.
So I've tried doing two of them. So the first one over here, that is
like a simpler version of it. And the second one is where all the leaves come in and you have the eyes popping over.
Okay, what's happening in the first one?
It's the same concept, only the difference is that it's a little more simpler over here.
Okay. Um, I think it's kind of difficult to gauge the idea of a secret from this. Okay, I like the direction you're going in. What you probably need to think of now is, again, as I told like a couple of my classmates, what is the secret that you're trying to show? Okay. Just drawing eyes in the dark or like, camouflage does not kind of speak that much to what the secret is or whether it's a secret or not, right? So think of it like, so is it one person hiding from another? So when I look at the top, left one, it does seem like, I was trying to figure out like, okay, maybe the negative space has, figures hiding from each other. It could also be like, let's say a rabbit trying to hide her, what do you call them? Little rabbits, from a predator. Right. So like the way you kind of draw them would be that they're made up of the leaves. Okay. Or they kind of,
Yeah,
or like you have a plant and the negative space which the plant's leaves form, that kind of makes up um, the rabbit. Okay, so I think that would work, more in your favor rather than just, kind of trying to draw eyes. And when you work with organic elements, it gives you more of a handle, especially when you're trying to cross negative space and organic forms. So, like the rabbits, they just have to get that vague shape that looks like, and you can kind of bend plants and leaves in any direction you want to form those shapes, right?
oh yeah,
So, try and tell. So, even when you're trying to tell, a story and be, narrative, when you kind of use these ideas together, that forms a conceptual piece, okay, and it makes it more stronger too.
yeah, I'll work on it.
Okay. So when I'm working with things like that, one way to make your task easier, and this is for everybody. Okay. So is okay. Let's just go with the example of the rabbits and let's make the tiger. Okay. So I first draw the rabbits. Actually, I draw the tiger. Okay, where I want them to be, and then put a tracing on it. Okay, and start drawing around it with leaves. Okay, and then I kind of, let's say, the tiger's stripes. Okay, that gives me an opportunities to explore. So that's when you want to look at references. Okay, so the tiger stripes give me an opportunity to explore. The longer leaf plants, okay, or blades of grass. So that's how you kind of start, looking at things and forming the negative and positive parts of your thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, thanks.
Okay.
I'll say now, ma'am.
Okay.
Right, ma'am. So this was one of my initial ideas. Mine is secret. So I was thinking about the a duality of a man and how he hides secrets. So like it's divided into two panels as if he's crossing from one plane of existence into another. And one of them could be a secret one, but it's unknown to us which one is the secret one. So one of it is the one on the left one is more of a home-like feeling. He has a wife in the kitchen waiting for him or something like that, and the other one is like he's escaping from a holding or a correctional facility. So it's something like that.
Okay. Um, One thing I forgot to mention to all of you is that we need the assignments to be in a portrait format. Okay. So Anirudh, when you move forward with this, you may need to correct it that way. It's still doable. Okay. What's happening right now is it seems a bit too narrative. Okay, so you may want to think about how you're going to put in more of a conceptual element. I do like the idea of that duality, but right now, just using that single line, the two panels, um, is a very simplistic way to answer that solution. So try and be more creative with it. Okay. You also may want to think about like the posture of the person. When you just look at the left one, okay, it seems that he's kind of actually, I don't know, a gangster trying to attack the woman. Okay, so
Okay,
try
yeah.
and think of that. And also, you may want to. So when you just look at the right half, it should give you a little bit more information as well. Okay. So kind of make sure that when you do this now, make sure both of them work as one single entity. Okay?
Pardon, ma'am, both of them are?
Both of them should work as a single entity.
Okay,
Okay? So be more creative in showing that duality than just through like the breaking of the panel.
right, right. Okay, ma'am, I'll try something. There
And
is this,
just make it vertical, like
yeah, yeah,
portrait format.
yeah.
Okay.
Got it, ma'am. Yeah. And there's this other one that I also thought about. This one. So it's like there is a cigarette butt inside an ashtray, and we can see that there's a lipstick mark in it, and in the background there's a couple fighting or screaming at each other. So like there is this reveal that there was a secret affair going on somewhere with someone. So that's what this one was about.
Okay. Um, I can't tell whether this is conceptual or not. Did you mean to make the ashtray really big?
Like yes, we were see like we'd be seeing this from inside the ashtray. So the main focus is on that big cigarette stub
But is
and
it
the
is it like are you thinking it's a perspective that you're looking through the ashtray, so the ashtray is in the forefront and the people are in the background?
yeah, no, not like that. I was thinking of putting the people in the background only, but not that the ashtray would be a personified thing.
I mean, as is, it's a little bit confusing. Um, okay. I think this is a good idea as well, but like I said, I'm not able to grasp whether you're trying to actually give me a concept or a story here. It can be both, but the way you kind of shown it is kind of throwing me off. Okay.
Right, I can work on the refinement. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So what I mean is like when I saw the cigarette stub, it was kind of hard to difficult to relate the lipstick mark to the cigarette stub. So is it that the guy caught the woman smoking and is he shouting at her about that?
It could be
Okay,
that also because such habits can also be very secretive. So it's
right,
not exactly a literal story, but it can be referred or inferred into multiple ones.
right. So, okay, so the part that's confusing me right now, I guess, is you've already shown that the cigarette part and the lipstick. So either so when you put a lipstick mark, a lot of times because of context, it kind of refers to an affair. Um, like you said, it could have the other meaning too. about like keeping this habit secretive, but I feel you can kind of explore this more by making this a second read. Okay.
By
Right now
making
it's
this
like second read. So that's the second thing you see, not
the
literally, of course.
the cigarette butt.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
So, the first thing that you probably see is these two people fighting. Okay. So,
Right.
how is it in the composition that you can include the cigarette and, the lips on it in a way that you kind of focus on it second, and that gives you that idea about, oh, maybe this is why they're fighting, right? That like that oh moment, like when you kind of discover that. Okay. Um, I think you're like halfway there already, okay? Because you definitely understand the meaning. Okay, we're trying to kind of hide the secret, but also reveal it. Okay, it's just a matter of like playing with the composition. And again, try and use negative space because that will really help you here. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right, ma'am. I'll just try and refine these compositions a bit.
So,
Yeah.
Anirudh, just pick one and put your energy into one. Okay, you don't need to do
Okay.
one. We only need one.
Okay. Which one would you recommend, ma'am? Is like could be worth pursuing.
I'm going to leave that up to you. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
both of them are good, but if you choose this one, um, I feel both of them are a little bit too narrative. So just try and be more creative about whatever you take forward. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Who's next? And this
Krina
is for
here. I'll
everyone.
share my screen.
Yeah. Okay. And this is for everyone. So whoever is in the line form stage, uh, pick, after we discuss, if you're still in two minds, you just need to kind of pick one and start moving ahead with that. Okay. Don't put all your efforts into kind of like working on two or three ideas and trying and making them work. Okay. When you come up to a certain stage, Krina, you can start sharing your screen. When you come up to a certain point, you just want to take one and kind of work on that and put all your efforts and energy into it. Okay, somebody be ready after Krina.
Ma'am, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So my topic is quiet. So I thought of this that the hands would actually pop out of the dark, and there's a chess game going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I like thought of the other exploration, and then there's this one that so I try to use a metaphor out of it that we speak a lot and we always say that I have this in my mind, I have that in my mind, but in actual your mind is actually a dead black. So that's what I try to show. And the other one is this that it's a home, but inside it's all deserted. So it's like silence and quiet. Like instead of the chair I told you yesterday that I thought of putting a chair in the desert. Instead of that, I thought of this.
Okay. Um, so your chess one again, very literal because that position it does kind of give away immediately that being quiet, you're thinking, contemplating. Um, if there's some way you could take it further with the chess pieces somehow, that would make it more interesting. Okay. Uh,
Ma'am,
but I
could you
think that
guide
would
me how do I like take it further in a conceptual manner?
yeah, I that's what I have to think about it too. So okay, let's talk about the other ones then, because when I saw the other ones, that kind of clicked more with me. Okay. Um, there's definitely, when you kind of go into a surreal direction, it does start becoming conceptual, just because of the direction it's going in terms of drawing. Um, that said, it may or may not kind of speak out to what you wanted to say. I'm not sure that this is saying quiet as such, okay? But when I was looking at that, and when you mentioned that, you kind of you mentioned like a black hole, right? Like that whole
Yeah.
dead empty space. Yeah, it immediately kind of like, oh, why don't you just change, make it like an empty room? Okay? And then that's when you went to the doorway. Okay, can you go to the doorways? Okay. So you basically have two really good ideas here and like your drawings. So all you need to do is kind of take this and kind of merge it with the face,
With
the head.
the face one. Okay.
Yeah. So just think of that as an extension of the room, like the head. It's put in perspective, so it becomes a room. It's already you sort of made it falling apart. Okay? You can show it empty and deserted inside. So that kind of showing the quiet,
So
desolate space.
so you
Another
basically
thing. So okay, just let me finish this. So one of the ways that buildings seem really empty and quiet is when you just draw openings. Okay, like no door frames or things like that. Then it just seems like a very quiet, desolate space without you having to kind of show that it's ruined. Okay?
okay.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
So you're literally saying that I should put a room or a quiet room inside of the black hole which is there in this image.
I mean, I don't think you need the other face.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
You're just talking about the first one. Okay.
So just the head can, so instead of, how people say that, upar ka mala khali hai, right? So you're
Yeah.
basically showing that, but the way you show it has to speak that it's a quiet space, okay? Um,
Okay.
it doesn't even have to be ruined or desolate, okay? When you talked about the table and chair, I told you that I was thinking about,
Yeah.
some writing there. You can literally show that the head is a quiet space for them to think. You have this beautiful scene of like a sunlit room, and then this person is working there, writing a book, painting, whatever. It's more of a narrative way to do conceptual, but that still works. Okay.
Okay. Ma'am,
I
so
do think that the other idea you had would be stronger with the deserted place. But I mean,
okay.
you have to decide how to take this further. I can only suggest a couple of things. Okay?
Okay. So ma'am, I did this for the exploration, like so like this breaking of silence sort of, the wall is actually scratching out. So could I
Okay.
use this in the brain in the this one, the same idea, like sort of.
Um, Again, you would have to draw it out and see what it
Okay.
says and kind of manipulate it to actually, make sure it reads as what you say, right? So you can ask people who don't know what you're drawing,
Right.
that, okay, what is it showing?
Okay.
So again, just thinking of it really won't help. When you have an idea, you need to like quickly at least sketch it out and see if it works then.
Okay, ma'am, I'll do it.
Okay, next, come on. Okay, I'm gonna start picking out names now. No volunteers?
Ma'am, can I share? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ivo exemplul de vaccinare.
Ma'am, Akhil is messaging me to tell you that he just got disconnected because of a power cut or something.
Okay,
Yeah. He'll try to rejoin in a few minutes if
okay,
something comes up. Yeah.
okay. Who's next? Come on. Anushka.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rhythm, you're next. Ankit K, you're after Rhythm.
Ma'am, is the screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so my topic is loud, and in this illustration, this is my final line comp.
Okay.
So, in this illustration, I try to we know we are more louder from inside, so that's what I'm try to show in this.
Okay.
That's
Um,
it. With it,
can you zoom in?
sorry, ma'am.
Can you zoom in, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So kind of zoom in so that it crops off. Yeah, right there. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm
Um,
just gonna, yeah.
so if you kind of like crop it off this much, then kind of make it like a vertical format. I think that kind of speaks more because you can pay more attention to the smaller figure. Okay. So you're saying we're louder on the inside, so that has to show through the smaller figure. Then, okay.
Okay.
So you probably want to work on the expressions of that girl that she's kind of like shouting, and she's kind of like maybe not even shouting, she's like screaming into the megaphone. Okay.
Yes.
Um, what I think would add another layer of context to this is maybe I don't know, the figure, the silhouette is kind of made up of all these people protesting. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You see what I mean? You can keep the line as is if you want, but maybe showing a couple of other people as well, kind of protesting or speaking their mind about some issue would be better because that's what it reads as right now. And it also kind of ties in with the idea that you're finally speaking up about all of these thoughts that you had in your mind, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one more.
Okay.
So, I'll show a woman which is tied up and is her mouth is covered, but like she is in pain and like from we can see from her eyes like she want to shout or like that loudness in her eyes. That was
Okay, is there a reason why the floral vine is kind of tying her up?
yeah, like she I tried to show her that she is tied up with a plant kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I'm asking, was there a reason why you're doing that? So when you kind of trying to show things conceptually, things that you put in elements, they become very important. Okay, so the idea is there has to be a reason why it's there. Otherwise, it's like it's a very beautiful image. It seems very powerful, but I can't get the reason behind it, right?
Um,
Um, I think going forward, your other one works better. I think you can push it a little bit forward by just making the changes I suggested. Um, you've already reached a very good point. So I think it's just a matter of working on that one line comp and you can just move ahead.
okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I had done some value comp also of that one.
Okay, can you share that?
Yes, ma'am. Wait. Is it visible?
Yeah.
So I had done three value comp of this illustration. This, um,
Okay, can you go back to the one in the center?
this one.
Um, is this the first one or the second one?
It was first. That was.
Okay, this one. Yeah. So, the megaphone, okay, the value that kind of falls into the background and the value that's in the girl's hair and her dress, the smaller girl, okay, it kind of
Yeah.
ties it together so it reads more as a megaphone and this one more than the other. Okay. So we don't want that to get lost. You can actually, I don't think you need the tongue anyway, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
The tongue in the mouth, I think you can do without it. Um,
Yes.
also, I think it would work better if the handle of the megaphone is let's say a value closer to the skin tone that you put or the value of the bigger face. Okay, so that it's not that distracting and obvious there.
Okay.
Another thing, Anushka, I'm not sure whether you actually need those lines that kind of define, speech that you use.
Okay.
Because even without that, I think it kind of is more intriguing without that in the sense that without that the girl is just like speaking normally and then you kind of read the megaphone with the other shoulder. Okay, hey, good progress. Is rhythm back yet? Okay, Ankit K.
Ma'am, Akhil here. Can I show my? I came back.
Okay, Ankit, go ahead. Ankit, please be ready after.
Anirudh, can you share?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a sec.
Yes, ma'am. My topic was secret. So this kind, for me, this kind of felt like like a secret door, or like a bad side of life for a relationship is being unlocked, and the bad or the dark side is being showed by the snake, and the life or relationship part can be. I think it's shown by the heart shape of the key and the heart shape of the pattern of the snake.
Akhil, can you just speak slowly? You're going like
Sorry,
really
ma'am.
fast.
Yeah, so I it kind of felt like a dark side of life or a relationship is being unlocked, and the dark side is kind of being shown by the snake, and the life or relationship can be shown by the heart shape of the key or the pattern of the shape, which is a heart shape, pattern of the snake, which is a heart shape. So yeah.
Okay. So to begin with, I do like the subtlety of the pattern on the snake. Um, so it's kind of like tying, I guess that darkness with whatever the affair, love life, that sort of thing, right?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Uh,
So, okay, what are you trying to show with the snake? And oh my god.
with the snake, ma'am, I kind of want to show a secret dark side. Like there'll be a dark side for everything, right? Like a life or a relationship. So I was trying to show that.
So why do you have the darks, the hearts on the snake?
And like, now I kind of want to show that it's a like dark side of a relationship or life. So I think I got like an opportunity, like the snake had patterns, so I like use heart shapes for instead of those patterns.
Okay. Um, okay, Anirudh, can you just mute your window for a bit? Just mute it, okay? I don't know where the noise is coming from. Okay, that's good. Okay, Akhil, I think this is good and it's intriguing. I do get that idea of like connecting darkness with the snake and then using the hearts as a pattern on it to show the relationship side. Um, that being said, it's a little bit kishy when it comes down to the key being the heart shape. So you may want to like rethink that and move away from it. What I'm like, I think you can explore the drawing a little bit more here. Okay, so make sure you're not so simplistic in the way you show those hearts on the snake. First of all, okay, you
Okay.
can make them more hidden and more subtly, like integrated with the scales. Okay,
Okay.
kind of make sure that the snake's tail kind of is more interesting in the way it ends. Right now, it's just kind of like diffusing off in an awkward angle.
Okay.
Okay. Um, the key is something you definitely need to work on. Um, you can actually kind of like use the snake to form the key. You know how you drawn the heart?
Yeah.
So when the snake is kind of like wearing his head to bite, kind of forms that shape. So you can
Hello.
kind of manipulate the snake to come out of the keyhole and become the key itself in a way. Okay?
Yeah.
Look at keys a bit more carefully. I think yours is kind of stuck a little bit between, like a house key or a normal lock key and one of those ornate lock keys. So just study the proportions a bit
Okay.
more when you can kind of try to manipulate the drawing. If you are bent on putting a heart, more visibly, you can kind of try and integrate it more subtly into the keyhole or like the locks, hole,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay.
Okay.
And I would say just move the whole composition a little bit to the left. It's like uncomfortably,
Yeah, it's on the
close to
right
the
side.
edge on the right. So um, you can also try like I think it would be nicer if kind of it's like more dynamic in the sense that the lock may be at a different angle. Right now it's
Okay.
all very linear, so when you kind of move
Yeah.
it to the left, it's going to fall in the center. So
Okay.
that kind of makes the whole composition very static. So all of you, rule of thirds, okay. Um, when you kind of do a composition, you can divide your whole page into 9 equal parts. So two, vertical lines, dividing it into three sections and two horizontal. So three sections, horizontally, and that gives you nine, I guess, rectangles if you have a rectangular piece. So you want to put the elements you want, more focus and dynamism in, where the lines intersect. Okay, so the moment you put something in symmetrically, it looks very beautiful because symmetry is inherently pretty, but it also kind of makes the composition seems very static and grounded. So unless it's something that you want to show the gravity and stillness of the situation, try and explore different angles. And another thing to create more movement is repetition of angles, like lines. So if you have one thing kind of at that angle, you may want to continue that sequence and kind of repeat that angle in a couple of other things, so that also catches the movement. Okay. Okay, good work, Akhil. Anirudh, you can stop sharing the screen.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Ankit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of you are doing a good job so far. Okay, and you're like halfway there already. You have all of tomorrow to work on the final two, so you should be good.
I was thinking of making some sort of slum area and sort of modern building in the middle. Just not going in a very conceptual sort of way.
Okay. And what's your prompt?
Mine is loud.
Okay. Can you zoom out? Zoom out more, or like scroll up? What's the fountain? Can you zoom into the fountain?
The fountain. I was thinking of making like a beautiful sort of fountain with plastic floating all around it in a sort of parking area, but I thought it wasn't like very loud.
No, it's not very loud, but so when I looked at the thumbnail for that one, it immediately caught my attention because it seemed that you were kind of trying to show that the fountain is loud, by manipulating its form. So when you kind of squint at it and look at it, it kind of seems like a person's mouth, open mouth, like the upper part, and they're shouting or screaming. Okay. Uh, we do want to go conceptual in this one. Okay, so you will have to put in a little bit more effort, um, to show things, or kind of work on that. Can you zoom out? Okay, can you scroll up? Right. So I think a lot of your ideas right now, I think almost all of them are pretty literal. Okay. Um, I recommend looking through the work of the illustrators I put in the WhatsApp group yesterday. Okay, that will give you more of an idea of how to work conceptually. Um, See, you don't have to, be overly complex. Okay, you can use a very simple idea and merge the two together. And like I said, metaphors. Whatever your idea or object is, you show that idea or object with another thing. Okay, so a very simple example is like how in old Bollywood movies, when they wanted to show two people kissing, they wouldn't show that, but they would show like two flowers kind of coming and overlapping with each other. So that's a way to show that, right? Because we all understood what that meant. So think of it that way. See, very simple idea. Okay, it's substitution, right? Just make sure that you ask the question back with what you're substituting. That is does this signify what I want to say? Okay.
Okay. So should I
Okay.
start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, come on, somebody volunteer. Okay, other Ankit, let's go with you. Ankit is. Is Arushi in class? Pushparaj? Sakina, do you want to show what you have?
Ma'am, I'll screen share in just 5 minutes.
Okay. Navya,
Ma'am, I'm still working on my concept. I'll just show you in a while.
can you show it after Sakina?
Yes, ma'am, maybe I'll still doing it.
So, do you want to share whatever you have right now so I can give you some feedback?
After 15 or 20 minutes, I'll be ready to show.
Um, so we need to start winding up discussion so I can do a demo for the value pump. Okay, so I can give you 10 minutes at best and then just share whatever you have, okay? Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
Yeah, okay.
Asta, is she in class? Sia?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'll show
Can
you
you?
in a while. I just joined this my lesson in my laptop.
Okay, then you'll be going after Navya and you probably get maybe 12 minutes, okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Nikki is not in class. Zeel is not in class. Why are so many of your classmates absent? I did count 22 at one point. Okay. Um, I have already taken a screenshot at this point, and those who aren't here are going to be marked absent. Okay. You cannot just like show up for attendance and leave. Please relate that to your classmates. Okay. I need them to be present in class. Okay, Rudra. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Rudra, I want you to go after Ankit.
Yes, ma'am. My topic is wide. So I mainly focused in meditation kind of illustrations. So these are
Okay.
the illustrations which I did, like illustration, meditation with nature and meditation with space. These are all
Okay.
the.
Can you zoom into the one that's on the top center?
Wait, ma'am. Yes,
Is
ma'am.
there one that you are leaning more towards?
No, ma'am. That was mistake. Like it was not intentionally.
No, no, no. I mean, like, is there one that you favor more than the others in terms of the thumbnail or idea?
Okay, ma'am. Which of the one I choose? Like you are saying.
No, I'm asking you. So if I were to ask you to choose one,
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
okay,
ma'am. I would like to like this one is like interesting for me,
okay,
or
can
this
you zoom
one,
into that one?
or this one.
Okay, let's talk about one. Okay, can you zoom into the mountain one?
Yes, ma'am. This one I am comparing with the nature and meditation.
Yeah, Ankit, just zoom into that, okay? I can see what you're trying to say,
Okay,
so
ma'am.
we can just discuss that. Just zoom in. Yeah.
And can you see it?
Yeah. So I do think, it's working good. Okay. Um, I think you can, just take it ahead as is. Of course, you need to work a little bit more on um, the shape of the human plus the shape of the mountain. Okay, so try to integrate them more
Ma'am.
together. Okay, so don't just draw like a mountain there. Okay, mountains also have shoulders.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
so kind of try and work with the guy's what do you call shoulders and physique kind of form into a mountain, and
Okay,
you
by
can make it
nature
a
you
bit
can make the body. You are saying like that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, basically it would be like you are actually drawing the silhouette of this person meditating,
Ma'am.
but
Yes, ma'am.
instead of that, it's just like, so you remember on my website, I had shown, how I kind of like drawn the shoulder with the ridges of the rocks, things like that, in the Mexican City poster. So, similar to kind of working with that idea. So kind of work with that. You can actually use the clouds to just form the head. That works as well. Okay.
Okay,
It doesn't have to be like literally like a head shape
yes,
or
ma'am.
attached to the mountain. So manipulate your drawing, and I think it should work really well. Okay.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay. Um, yes, ma'am. And I also like this. This one is like a silhouette kind of thing, which is inside the. This part is inside the mind's, human mind's head. So this person is
Um.
meditating in one cliff, like something like that.
Right. So with this, it feels like something that I've seen before a lot of times. Okay, it's also more vague because it's been done so many times. It doesn't really. It speaks more about meditation rather than just more quiet.
Okay.
While the other one, it kind of speaks. Like a mountain landscape also speaks quiet. Meditation also. It's kind of like you have two, layers there. So I think it's better to move ahead with that one.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Uh, okay.
Okay, ma'am.
But like the final option is like it's your choice.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. ठीक है मैम.
Okay, Rudra.
Ma'am, so can I show now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah, so my topic is quiet. So I had tried to show it like in different ways. So in the first, like I uh, had
Rudra,
like
can you pick
uh,
one that you're most interested in?
ma'am,
Can you
I
talk
really
about that?
like I really want to go with the last one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
so here I
that
yeah
definitely seems most interesting to me as well. Can you tell me
yeah
why the person has, the lines across the face? Is that a mask?
yeah yeah, ma'am, it's a mask. So I tried to show like something like the person like if his husband want to like in his zone like quietly and like want to think और he didn't want to be क्या बोलते हैं like अपने हिसाब से वो शांत रहना चाहता है so like he had made his face like a balloon or something like that
Okay.
and और लाइक अब जो भी अभी मतलब उसका ख्याल वो अभी आ रहा है उसके दिमाग में तो सबसे ऊपर जाके एक शांत मतलब वो जोन में जाना चाहता है ताकि वो क्लाउड पे लाइट होके
Okay. Okay.
या
So, okay, so let's talk about the face of the balloon. I really like the idea. I think you really grasped, the situation there, and it's telling, like, it's telling me exactly what you wanted to say. I don't think you need the mask there. You can just put like an expression that shows more quiet or peaceful. Like an outlook in there. Uh, so one of the things you can work is like when you say, that you want the balloon to go up into the like this
या
quiet atmosphere,
या
emphasize more of that atmosphere, okay? So you draw these little
ओके
tiny clouds there. So what you want to do is make the clouds bigger. Excuse me. Okay. Just give
या
me a second. Okay. One second.
श्योर
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So you want to, kind of show that atmosphere more.
या
Um, one of the other things you want to work is, drawing the hand more nicely. Okay, don't just draw it
ओके
like very clumsily and like the whole like thumb. Okay, please make sure you work on drawing the fingers. So if you don't know how to draw hands, this is your time to learn. Okay.
no ma'am
One
like I
other
had
thing you can try is use perspective, like different kinds. So think of it like, what if this is a top view? Okay, then your body would be so small, standing on the ground, and then you have the hand holding that string and going all the way up, and then you have this huge, head. So you can looking at it from like an angle at the top, and like we have clouds around. So try and explore a different angle as well in terms of composition.
okay maybe a bird eye view
Yeah, I think that would, be more impactful because that would immediately make the head bigger and the body smaller and kind of bring more focus to that area. Okay.
Okay, so ma'am, about the hand check, what you were telling, so I was like, because I had tried to show something like about the winter season or maybe like because of my edit scarf and gloves, so
I
that's why
okay. So I don't really think you need to worry about like showing what do you call like a winter season or whatever. It doesn't really add any more information that we need, right? So yes, adding the scarf is like an easier way, or like I would not even say easier, but like a neater way to kind of show that part of the neck which severs off from the head, right? So you don't want to show a stump or something like I don't know, like cut off. So I think this is a more elegant solution to that. That said, the hand does not you have all of these like really nice lines going. So that glove that you're drawing, it's more of a mitt, okay, that doesn't have fingers. So you want to make sure if you want to draw that, draw a glove with fingers. Okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Sakina, can we see what's going on with you?
Yes, ma'am. Just 2 seconds. I'm uploading only. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I show?
Okay.
Is it visible?
Yeah.
And my topic is loud, so I tried to show a face which is made up of all the mouth.
Okay.
I kind of tried to show an aggressive man who is like screaming or uh, is very angry by
Okay.
this smile.
So it's not exactly reading like that. It's not reading aggressive or angry. Okay. Uh, for me, when I see it, it's reading more like a Mardi Gras festival. Do you know what that is?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You may want to write it down and Google it. Mardi Gras. It's like MARDIGRAS. Okay. So it's like this sort of like carnival festival, Venetian thing, where people wear masks. I'm sure you've seen, like references or whatever somewhere on the internet at some point. So they wear all these like really cool masks, and they have balls and whatnot, like parties. So it's very over the top. Okay, so usually when in terms of like festivities, though Mardi Gras is pretty loud. Okay, in terms of what people wear, in terms of how they party, etc. So when I saw that, when I see your line work, you've already put like these like music elements.
Yes,
So, and the butterfly sort of shape. It kind of reads as a mask to me, but it's kind of made up of two big lips. Okay, so you may want to
yes.
kind of, so what you're trying to show, it doesn't really read as that, but again, once you have a drawing, you can make it work. Okay, so just research about that festival, and you can kind of easily convert this into something that relates to that. Okay, so you can retain the idea of using different marks to form these different, like I guess, humans, but make sure that you're kind of using it effectively. Okay, so the two lips here, they form. You can use it as butterflies. You can use it as a mask, as I read it.
Okay,
So yeah, so try and work with that. Also, this is for all of you. We're not doing a spot illustration. Okay, this is like a full page illustration. So make sure you also have enough in there to kind of not make it seem like just one little thing in blank space or on a background. Okay.
okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Sakina, are you ready?
मेरा केस नंबर में मेरा केस नंबर बताऊं अभी मेरा एक केस था मैंने क्वेरी किया था इसके रिलेटेड 2-3 दिन से कर रहा हूँ मैं हाँ
Sakina, are you
ये
ready
मेरा
to share
केस
your
ए टू
screen?
जीरो वन ओके
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Ma'am, just a second, there's some glitch.
Okay. Um, if you're having trouble just like screen sharing, you can ask one of your classmates to share for you.
Ma'am, it's done. Now I can.
Huh?
Okay, ma'am, can you see? So, ma'am, this is one of my final lines. So, it is like there's a book, like we all have our books which we keep it as secrets. So, there's a book in which some things are spilling out, and someone is just trying to just collect everything and just hold it back that nobody sees what is inside that. And above I've made lines, it is not still complete, but I'm thinking to just write some words over there to just make some sort of environment of the secrecy and all. So that's why I've made that kind of organic lines, and there are whisperings. So whenever we tell something secretive to somebody, so we whisper it. So I was thinking to just make that sort of lips all over the place so that it will show the frustration and the emotion of that. So I guess I have to work more on it, but yeah, this is sort of concept for my the word secret.
Okay.
सर्विस सेंटर में जाके कलेक्ट कर लेने के लिए
So,
जैसे
what do
मुझे
you
जब
mean
बोला कि
by
देखो आज
writing
मैं आ गया
behind
जब
it?
मैं
Like,
सर्विस
is it
सेंटर को
just
मैंने
going
कॉल
to
किया
be
वो बोला
like
कि ऐसे कुछ मैसेज आया नहीं
scribbles
मुझे
that kind of show a book page?
तो ये मतलब क्या हो रहा है मतलब ये सब समझ में तो आ
Yeah,
नहीं रहा है
sort
ना
of. Like I
कम्युनिकेशन
was
मेरा
thinking
प्रोडक्ट
of
क्यों हो रहा है
adding some newspaper, newspaper lines to make it a little creative, and doing watercolor or sorry, not watercolor, acrylic colors
हाँ
to give details, and newspaper behind. Like some lines would be just like there are some parts in which there would be just lines, and in some parts there would be words. So that sort of thing I was thinking.
Okay, so one of the things is that we want to avoid using actual words that explain what's going on. Okay, so as long as it's scribbles and like illegible and writing, or just like Lauren, it's
हाँ
them filling up the
सर्विस सेंटर वाले
space
तो बोल रहे हैं कि
just to
Yeah.
show
लोग मतलब ग्लोबल नहीं
a
आया है कि स्केचिंग
document, or
करने के लिए
something like that.
तो वो
That's
बोले कि
fine as part of the
अगर हम
image.
लोगों से
Okay.
डिस्प्ले ठीक करना है तो
That said, I
ऐसे नहीं
feel
करना
you are trying to put in a lot of ideas together. Okay. I think you may benefit more by like
हाँ
trimming out a few ideas.
क्या बोल रहे हैं
Okay, and working on something that works more.
कल मैंने जब
So
कॉल किया था
why
तो
is there a face
कोई
on the book?
कोई उठाया
To
था तो
show the emotion
वो
more
बोले कि
of
सर मैं पूरा क्वेरी
the very
क्लैरिफाई करने के लिए मैंने
frustrated
कॉल
kind
किया था
of
उसको तो वो बोला कि हाँ आपका ये
look.
हायर अथॉरिटी के पास चला गया
Okay,
था
and
तो
what are
उसके
those
बाद
other
मैंने बोला कि
things
बट मुझे एक
you
मैसेज
know
आया था ऐसे
around the
कुछ
book? Like,
तो वो फिर से वो बोला कि ठीक है
Yeah,
मैं देख रहा हूँ क्या
that's what I said.
सिस्टम
Like
में
they are
तो
the
सिस्टम में देखा वो
whispering
बोला
of.
कि
So
हाँ
I was
आपका
making
वो
small
केस
kind of
मतलब लैपटॉप
doodles
सीज कर दिया
to
गया है तो
show
वेस्टर्न सर्विस
whispering
सेंटर में आपको
around
कलेक्ट
that
करना है
area, which
ये बात
will
मुझे बोला था
create the sense of a little
no,
like
so what
secret or something.
exactly is that object? Is it like lips and fingers? Is that what it is?
कि तो फिर
Yes, yes,
उस
yes, yes. I didn't
प्लीज
make
भेजना
it.
है मतलब अगर
Like
रिकॉर्ड
I
Okay.
just
करना
made
है
it.
तो
So I
आपको
think it's
मतलब
really hard to make
इशू
that
एड्रेस
out.
उसको फिर मैं
Okay.
भेज सकता हूँ
Um, one of the things you can
ये
actually
सब
do
मैं हॉट
is,
वॉलेट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ ना मैं क्योंकि आप लोग
so
की तरफ
when
से
I
हाँ बोल रहे हैं हो
saw
गया
what
और
you drawn,
जनरेट कर रहे हैं कि नहीं हो रहा है तो
it
मतलब ये
kind of
मैसेज भी आ
like
रहा है मुझे
read to me as that it's a person holding a book up to their face, but they are like their expressions, or like basically their face, it becomes the face of the on the
रजिस्ट्रेड
book,
नंबर
right? So it's like,
0334603
and well, the thing is, because I know that you're talking about the prompt
जीरो
secret,
थ्री
it
थ्री फोर
immediately
सिक्स
reads to
जीरो
me
थ्री
as a diary. Okay, you can obviously draw it in such a way that it
मतलब वो
looks like a
फर्स्ट में जो
diary. how like actually diaries kind of look like in terms of like they have a lock and whatever. Um,
I was
I,
thinking that, but I thought it would be very direct, so that's why I kept a lock niche, down there.
but
So,
no, so what I'm saying is, if you just draw a simple diary and leave it at that, it becomes direct, okay, not conceptual enough. Because what I read into your drawing right now is that the book is the face, okay, it's the head. You see what I mean? Okay, so that all of your secrets are contained in that book. Okay. Um, I'm not too sold on the expression of frustration. Um, so I think that may need, some rethinking. Again, the whispers, I don't really think you need them. When you said, it's like a book trying to shut, like hands trying to shut the book and the secret stop the secrets from spilling out. Um, I think that would work better. Again, if the book actually formed a human head, as is, I think there's like too much going on to make it clear what's happening. Okay, so try and like filter out a couple of ideas and rework around that. Okay.
fine then. So, ma'am, basically, I was thinking to remove that whispering thing because I even thought that would be a little too much for the composition. And I was thinking to make a sort of small lock on the side of the book so it will directly post that it is a secret kind of book. And yeah, that's it. And what about, ma'am, the scribbles of words?
Um, when you talk about the scribbles, it doesn't really signify anything to me. Okay, I'm not even like clear on where they would go. Like if it's in the background, what value is it adding? Unless it's saying something more, not literally. Um, so maybe rethink that part. Okay. About I'm a little bit confused about what exactly you're trying to show here. Is it just like you want to show the idea of it being a secret diary or a secret book?
Oh,
Or
yes. Which is holding up a secret. Yeah, yeah, that one.
sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, a secret diary sort of thing, which is holding up a lot of secrets of people.
Okay. So see, you already have, you've identified what your subject is going to be, right? Like you definitely want to talk about a book. Okay. Now the thing is, you decide like, do you actually want to draw a book or not? If you actually draw a book, you need to elevate it in some way to a conceptual level so that it gives you another, like, the whole composition gives you another read, okay, or another, like like a hint that okay, what is the secret, right? That's what I'm kind of saying. Or you kind of use the idea, to kind of show that the book is full of secrets. So if it was, let's say the book was the head, okay, that gives me a little bit more information than just a book being there. Okay. The lock, I think would work because of context. But again, I think you can kind of take it one step ahead in some way. Okay. Like, what if I mean, I don't know whether you actually want to put in a human figure or not, but um, in some way this could be like an illustration where the person is holding the diary, but the diary's lock is actually kind of like on the person's mouth to signify that they're kind of like locking up all of their secrets, but it's there in that book. So it kind of relates a bit indirectly like that. Sorry, not indirectly, but more directly like that. Okay. uh, I
Ma'am, I
think yeah, I
made
think you're
some.
on the right track. Okay. Just try and separate your ideas and take one and work more with it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
hello, बोलिए.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
I've also made some. Yeah, but yeah, I chose this as my
But ये तो
final.
बात
So
Can you show
बात
me
है ना
the
कि
other one?
हायर अथॉरिटी के पास चला गया है तो
okay,
एक दिन
so
बहुत
Just
उसमें आगे
quickly.
basically
बढ़ना चाहिए.
there was a book
आज फिर से
in
एक दिन
which
वेट
there
करता
was
हूँ मैं यार मतलब क्या
a
आज
sort of
करेंगे.
democratic look, and there were people who were
हाँ
actually
मतलब
it
पहले
was
ठीक था मैं तो
something that a
वही मतलब तीन दिन
politician
हो चुका
was
है ना मेरा
covering up
अथॉरिटी
the
मुझे मेल भी आ चुका
secrets
है कि
and just
ऐसा वेट करने
sugarcoating
के लिए
things,
बट
but I thought that
तीन दिन
won't
हो
work,
चुका है
so
और
I
उसके
didn't
बाद मुझे मैसेज आया
move
तो इसलिए
forward
मैंने
towards
आपको
it.
कंफर्मेशन के लिए कॉल
And
किया.
yeah, this was one of it that sort of shows the constitution that
Okay. So your illustration on the left here.
बट उसके लिए कितना दिन लगेगा वही तो ना. मैं तो
It
टाइम
kind
भी
of works a little bit more
इम्पोर्टेंट है ना.
better. That
आपके लिए तो वेट नहीं कर सकता हूँ.
the hands are trying to cover up the mouth, so that
और मुझे
he's
आई
stopping
कंफर्मेशन के लिए मेल
speaking.
चाहिए
That's how
मतलब
I read
क्योंकि
it.
आप लोग मेल नहीं भेज रहे हो
Uh,
yeah,
कि आप
that's what it
मतलब
is.
आप खुद
Like
से बोल रहे हो.
that's what
the
I want.
आई
only
डोंट हैव
thing
द
is
प्रूफ ना
that
कि आप बोल रहे हैं कि
if
हाँ
this was
वैसे कर
actually
दूंगा.
like I said, a
मतलब
personification,
मुझे
it
पहले
would work
पहले दिन मुझे
better.
मेल नहीं आया था बट
In
मैंने
terms of the book
कंफर्मेशन के
being
लिए
a
मैं आपको
human
फिर से
being,
मैंने कॉल किया
not
देखा आप
like a
मेल भेजिए
cartoon
उसके बाद
even.
आप भेजिए.
Okay, you just
नहीं तो
kind
नहीं
of
भेज रहे आप.
using substitution. So the person's head full of like secrets
वही ना कब आएगा
becomes
अगर
this
तीन
is
दिन के बाद
actually a
आएगा तो
book
कुछ
full of
होगा ही ना.
secrets. Okay. It could be
ठीक है
also like a chest,
जो कोई क्या
it could
जल्दी
be
करना होगा
anything
क्योंकि
else. So
मैं
you're
बहुत दिन से
basically
वेट कर रहा हूँ. ऑलमोस्ट
substituting
1 मंथ होने वाला है
uh,
केस चल रहा है
that
तब से.
idea of where secrets are kept, okay? And then you have the hands kind of trying to make sure that the secrets are secure. Okay.
Okay,
So
so ma'am, you're telling to just substitute the head of a person with this book, right?
so that's one way to think of it. See, that's what I've been explaining before. One of the ways to go about conceptual is just substitution. Okay. So the head, you're trying to say that this person has a lot of secrets. Okay, how do you show that? So one of the things is when I say substitution, okay, what are other things that hold secrets or hold things secure? Okay, it could be a vault. Okay, that could be the head. It could be like Pandora's chest right there. Even though that's very, like if you draw Pandora's chest alone, it's very direct, okay, and kind of narrative, like, oh, everybody knows that's holding a secret. But when you kind of put it in terms of like, metaphorically as a person's head, you kind of know that you're talking about the person knowing a lot of secrets. You see where this is going?
Yes, yes, I'm getting it.
Okay. So yeah, so think of it in that direction. I think you're already kind of, going that way. Uh, you just need to kind of focus your thoughts a bit more. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
and
ma'am.
and yeah, and just you know first make sure your main idea becomes very clear in terms of drawing. Then you can think about adding more value to it. So whether it's from the script, document, newspaper, whatever you want to add as the background. Then you'll have more information about how to handle that. Okay.
Thank you.
Navya.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second. I'm just sharing this.
Okay.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Yeah.
So my prompt was loud. So after the brainstorming what the words and synonyms, I got on the concept first. Is like many times we have very loud things inside us. We are afraid of speaking it. So I thought of making this like the necks are too long. Where there are a lot of things inside us, but we are not able to speak it. So first was the this concept, and there's another one.
Okay.
Is it visible, the second one?
Yes. Can you talk about this?
Yeah, so I thought of making like it's like सब लोग अपने अपने बारे में बोलते रहते हैं but no one is give shits to listen to other people. So I thought I made a society or buildings kind of thing, and there are crows that are speaking and no one is listening to one another. So in this area I want to scribble or text written something that people are speaking, और जो बैकग्राउंड में आई वांट टू लाइक पेंट द होल थिंग बट फ्रॉम अ ब्लैक और सिंगल थिंग आई वांट टू scribble around it, so it gives like everyone is speaking and no one is listening, and
Okay.
that's
So
loud.
all of you, when you're drawing, do not think about execution yet. Okay. That will tie you down. So you want to think only about what you're trying to show through the drawing. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I'm not sure whether you actually need the buildings here. Okay. It could be just like a group of crows, well, group, I guess a murder of crows together. What's happening with the one in the center?
No, I made it like everyone is surrounding by their own thoughts and their own things, and no one is listening to another. So I wanted to show like everyone is loud about themselves and nobody listens to one another.
Okay. Um, I mean, I think it would work, better in that sense. If like, have you have that central crow kind of also surrounded by its own speech bubble. So you have like a few others also doing that. Um,
Okay.
okay. Don't really think you need to show so many. So the same idea can also be related with three crows together. Okay. Why
Yeah.
pick crows in particular? Is there a reason?
What, ma'am?
Why pick crows?
Because like the voice of crows are like loud and uh,
Okay. So one of the things you want to do is when you pick things, you want to like research a bit more into it. Okay. So like if you show this to me, for example, like I have a garden where they have a lot of birds coming in. Um, and when I have crows there, I kind of feel like the peacocks that come in are so much more louder than crows. Okay, they start like honking, like the peacocks. They start honking at like 4 a.m. and wake me up every day. Okay, so you might want to like think a little bit more about that. I think with crows, the context that kind of sticks to them more is that their speech is kind of harsh. Okay, rather
yeah,
than loud. So I would maybe rethink that a little bit more. Okay, I like the idea
yeah,
that you're putting it. It doesn't really speak that much about being loud as much as it does about um, not listening to another person. Okay, can you go back to the first one?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think your idea is like really impressive. I was just thinking about, but the thing is, again, the idea about loud doesn't isn't coming through that much right now. Okay. Um, so think about how you can kind of use drawing to show that. So I was just thinking, oh, you said like, you have all of these things stuck inside you. And like obviously, because this is like a verbal channel, it saturated the neck like that. But
Yes.
now I'm thinking, oh, what if it was constricted, So if like at the right at the middle, it becomes like so thin that nothing is able to come out. Okay. But then also that kind of brings me, oh, is that reading? So I ask myself, like, does that read more as quiet or as loud? So try and draw your necks in a couple of different ways and ask yourself that question. And I think that will work better in your favor. Again, you do not need to draw so many. Okay.
Okay.
Three is so for so everyone, like in drawing, three is a good number when you want to show, like, an idea through repetition. Okay, obviously, a lot more sometimes works better, but three is a good enough thing to begin with. So once you resolve three, then you will know whether you want to add more or not, or need to or not. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
so pick either of the ideas and kind of try and ask yourself that question how you can make it work better. Okay? So I
Okay, ma'am.
think you're like almost there. Okay, both of them are very good ideas. You just need to give it that little extra bit of nudge, and it's gonna get you to a really good level with the
Yes,
illustration.
ma'am.
Okay.
I'll try. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, it's 12:07. I'm not sure whether we'll have time to actually demo anything as yet. Um, how many of you do need help with values? Like how many of you think that doing a demo for like values will actually be helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Value.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We need a lemon.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we'll do a value demo. Okay. Like 20 minutes. I think I may be able to do it. I do need to set up my camera.
ওটা কি নিউ মার্কেটের ওখানে নাকি? হ্যাঁ, নিউ মার্কেটের ওখানে এতটাই বলছি, অল্প নিউ মার্কেট 158 দেখাচ্ছে। ওই 158 এরকমই দেখাচ্ছে।
Um, okay, so I'm having a bit of trouble figuring out. Yeah, I'm having a bit of trouble figuring out how to set my phone up for the demo. So I think that was something we'll have to tackle after. Excuse me.
করে দেবো।
Yeah, so that's something I'll have to figure out during the break. I think all of you can take this time. We have like maybe 17 minutes, right? So just stay on class till then and work on your assignment, and I'll start the demos after we meet again when we meet again. So we're going to break from 12:30 to 1. Is that good for everyone? Okay, we want to finish up the demos and everything quickly, without wasting time. So you guys have more time after to actually work, continuously without breaks. Okay, Nikki, Rhythm, I still need to see what you both have. So who wants to go first?
Ma'am, I'm still working on my few explorations. Actually, I did, but they are quite literal. So I'll show after the break.
We won't have time to discuss after the break. Okay, we're going to be doing demos. So now is the time to share if you want feedback. Okay. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're stuck or you still need more time, it's better if you just show me, so we can get some thoughts going at least.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Nikki, are you sharing with the class?
Just 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So first one is the one where a person is doing meditation, and in the background I tried showing with like as if positive vibes are coming to him or her.
Okay.
The second one, I thought of creating a silence around beach, like the girl is sitting in a quiet place. The third one is also for beach, like she's deep inside the water, where only water is there and some shadow of trees and all that.
Okay. What's happening in the fourth one? Can we talk about that?
Sorry, ma'am, which one?
The fourth one.
There I tried showing a library, like the person is reading a book, and I thought of showing the rack of books in the person's body.
Okay. So out of all, okay, tell me about the last one.
Okay, there I thought of creating a quietness using music, like they both are enjoying music in their own ways.
Um, okay. So out of all of them, obviously, the one with the books seems the strongest conceptually. Um, So I think you have a good idea there. The only thing is now, that want to kind of explore the drawing more.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So we want to see, how you can use books to create, let's say, the form of a person reading or a form of a person with peace, something like that. Um, I maybe have a reference to share with you. I think even with all of your like other explorations, this one does work better. So I think you should like kind of like take that one and work ahead with it, towards
Okay,
your life
ma'am.
goal. Okay.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, I do have more, some more. Can I show you?
Okay.
আমি দেখিনি কি করে কি বলেছে
This one. These are quite literal ones, the above one, but the fifth one in the last row. The first one I thought of showing it underwater, like the quietness underwater.
Okay.
আচ্ছা
Yes, like you said, a lot of them are very literal. The fish one is, like ideally a good one, and theoretically it should work.
আসলে
The
এগুলো
only
আগে
thing
বলা
is you
যায়
would
না
need
একদিন
to
আগে
kind
কি
of,
মানে যেদিন সেই দিনেরটাই বলতে হয় আমার অন্য
work
কাজ নেই
towards it a lot more.
Okay.
So, you know how it's not just, oh,
তো তুমি করে
that
আজকেই
you're
তো
not
মনে হয়
just drawing
বলেছে
fishes, that you're trying to show that,
আজকেই তো
whole
বলেছে মনে হয় না
quiet sense underwater.
হ্যাঁ তো তাহলে
Yes,
মানেটা
I
ওটাই তো
thought of
বলছি
that,
আজকে যেদিন
like
যেদিন
using the
বললে হয়
point of
কখনো
view under the
তুমি ওদের সাথে
water
আগে
and
আমার প্র্যাকটিস
showing
করতে হয়
the
না
upper world,
সেরকম ভাবে আমাকে
like the top view kind of thing.
That still doesn't, ring a bell in terms of bringing out the idea of quiet.
ম্যাক্সিমাম জানি না আমার হবে নাকি তাও
Mm,
কি মানে জিনিসটা কি
yeah,
করতে কি
even
হবে
even with this, I think yeah, the library, the book one works the best. So far, you will definitely have to put in more work in terms of
আচ্ছা
the
আর
posture
আর
and
আর
the way the figure
মানে তাহলে
is.
বোঝাবো কিরকম করে যে ওটা না আমরা মানে আমরা করছি
I'm trying to actually look
লোগো
for
দিয়ে
a
দেবো জাস্ট আর কি
reference of a library illustration like that.
হ্যাঁ
Okay,
বুঝতে
ma'am.
পেরেছি বুঝতে পেরেছি হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
Um, I think if you go with
আচ্ছা
that,
পরে
it would
দেখছি
um, would be in I guess a good direction.
ওটা কিন্তু সময় লাগবে ঠিক আছে ওটাই আমার কারণ আমার অনেক টাইম
Okay,
থাকবে
ma'am.
So
Okay.
when you were talking, can you go back to the other one? The other thing is, the last one with the music and the mountains. If you were to somehow, integrate the headphones with like a scenic view, just like how
আচ্ছা
you
ঠিক আছে
integrated the library with the
হুম
person, okay?
Yes. Okay.
ঠিক
I
আছে হ্যাঁ
think that would also kind of work, in the same like way. Is that would also be a good idea. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
so, like at this point, just pick one and, or like, any of your ideas, I guess, you can go ahead in terms of, think of it in how you did with the library of the person. Okay.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Nikki, I'm going to screen share the reference I was telling about.
Okay, ma'am.
So maybe that will, give you more of an idea. Okay, so this is Chris Bazzelli's illustration. Okay. Um, can you see the library?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Questions? Can you see the man's face?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So you can just scroll through, like this process and see how it works with it. I think it's basically like I guess the titles or whatever of the books that forms the shadows and forms the person's face. So like uh, yeah, kind of like that is how when you do that, this is what it reminded me of. So try and like keep at it. I think it'll work out good. So and everyone else, so you can look at this illustrator's work as well. Okay, he has a lot of conceptual illustrations, and he actually renders a lot of things. So it's not flat, and simplistic. I think that will give you more of an idea of how you can work with conceptually when you have like simple ideas and you're kind of thinking, oh, this could only be done in a graphic way. So I'll put a link to his Instagram in the group. I think he has more work on Instagram than he does on his website. So that will be
Hello.
helpful. Okay, so I will see you all at around 1, okay, 1 p.m. and we'll start the demo. You guys can, sort of pay a little bit of attention to the demo and also kind of keep working on your work, like assignments. Okay? So I will see you at 1 p.m. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.